Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are continuing our discussions. We're talking about proportions, and just recall that proportions are two equal ratios. And what are ratios? Ratios are a comparison of one quantity to another in the form of A over B. So proportion could be of the form A over B equals C over D. The ratio A to B, the ratio C to D, them being equal, that's what makes a proportion. And we can solve proportions in two ways. You're probably more familiar with cross multiplication, but I just wanted to show you that cross multiplication really comes from clearing the fraction and then solving. And so we look for a common denominator, and with 4 and 6, that's going to be a 12. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12 over 1. So what? Cancel out, cancel out, cancel out. 3, so I get 9 is equal to x times 2 is 2x. Now both of these are over 1. 3 times 3 is 9, over 1 times 1 is 9. X times 2 is 2x, over 1 times 1 is 2x. And divide by 2, and we get 9 halves is equal to x. Okay, so here, if we cross multiply, we are going to get the same results. 4 times x is 4x. 3 times 6 is 18. Divide both sides by 4. And we can cancel the 4's because 4 over 4 is equal to 1. We get x is equal to 18 over 4, which simplifies to 9 over 2. Very simple, very easy. We're going to take a look at just a couple of application problems where you can use proportions to solve. The cost of water in the city of Tucson, Arizona is $1.75 for 750 gallons of water used. What is the water bill if 30,000 gallons are used? Well, we are comparing cost as it is related to gallons. And so when you set up a word problem, or set up to solve a word problem that's comparing things and you're going to use a proportion, you set up two ratios. And the important thing is if I have cost up top on one side, I have to have cost up top on the other side. That's why I always like to label it. And gallons at the bottom, they must be gallons on the bottom over here. And then you have to put the right things together. I know that it costs $1.75 per 750 gallons. And I know that I need 30,000 gallons, so I'm putting the labels with the particular units, and I want to know what it costs. What is the water bill, or what is the total cost? So I'm just going to let C represent the cost, or the bill. So what this really turns into is this proportion right here. 175 over 750 is equal to C over 30,000. So I am going to cross multiply 750 times C is equal to 1.75 times 30,000. And I'm just going to go ahead and divide right now before I multiply because I know I'm going to use a calculator, so I might as well just use it in one big giant step. And if you take 1.75 times 30,000 and divide it by 750, you get 700, or in this case, that cost or the bill is going to be $700. No big whoop. And okay, so one more problem here. Let's see. Okay, so insulin comes in 10 cubic centimeters, or cc, vials, labeled in the number of units of insulin per cubic centimeter fluid. A vial of insulin marked U40 has 40 units of insulin per cubic centimeter of fluid. Okay, so U40 has 40 units per cubic centimeter. So I'm going to be comparing units to cubic centimeters. And cc's are how much you draw in a syringe and a needle. Okay, you may be familiar with that or you may not. The question is, if a patient needs 30 units of insulin, how much fluid should be drawn into the syringe from the U40 vial? And this might be a little confusing if you don't know that cc's, cubic centimeters, is a way in which they measure the amount of something being drawn into a needle or into a syringe. Well, I know that 40 units of insulin come with 1 cubic centimeter per cubic centimeter. So that's going to go here. 40 is to 1. And if a patient needs 30 units of insulin, how many N or how much fluid should be drawn into the syringe? Okay, so N is what I'm solving for. So I have 40 over 1 is equal to 30 over N. And I'm going to cross multiply. 40 times N is 40N. And 1 times 30 is 30. I'm going to divide both sides by 40. Okay, the 40s cancel. And I'm running out of room, so I'm going to move over here. The 40s cancel, leaving me with N is equal to 30 over 40, which is equal to 3/4. Okay, but cc's are usually done in decimals, so I'm going to say 0.75 cubic centimeters or cc. So from this U40 vial, 0.75 cubic centimeters should be drawn for this particular patient who needs 30 units of insulin. All right, that's it, and we'll see you next time.